I want to talk about, the absent father issue. As I reflect on the state of our society, I am compelled to address a pressing issue that has far-reached consequences. The absence of responsible and engaged fathers. It is alarming to see fathers who complain about paying maintenance and who insist on providing only the bare minimum for their own children's needs. Many fathers have never contributed to their children's well-being beyond providing food, which often doesn't even last a month. They have never provided shelter. They've never provided shelter. They've never bought furniture, beds, chairs, all the things you can think about that make up a home. All the basic necessities for their children, they've never provided. They have never attended school meetings. They've never assisted with school homework. They've never assisted with discipline. They have never assisted with discipline. They have never shown any interest in their children's lives. Instead, they prioritize their own comfort and convenience, leaving their children to suffer the consequences. Now, what is even more disturbing is that many of these fathers, they have other children whom they live with and provide for fully. They take these other children on holidays. They buy them gifts and they show them love and all the attention they need. Meanwhile, their other children are left to feel neglected. They are left to feel neglected. They are left to feel unloved. They are left to feel unwanted. Now, this blunted disparity in treatment is not only hurtful, but also damaging to the self-esteem and emotional well-being of these children. It is astonishing to see that some of these fathers, they've never taken their children on a plane ride, despite being frequent travelers themselves. They've never taken their children on a plane ride. These fathers, they've never experienced, the joy of exploring new destinations with all their children, creating lifelong memories that shape young minds. They've never done this. They do not do this. Instead, they reserve all these experiences for the children they live with, leaving the other children to feel out, leaving them out and leaving them to feel unimportant, leaving them to feel left out, leaving them to feel unimportant and not wanted. This is very, very scary. This is very, very disheartening. This treatment is a painful reminder of the neglect and abandonment that many children face in our society today. Let's take a closer look at the reality of fatherly absence. Ask any child, ask some children, how many of these children have been taken to school by their fathers? How many have been taken to school by their fathers? How many have been accompanied to doctor's appointments by their fathers? Ask them how many have had the beds, the furniture, and other basic necessities provided for by their fathers? Ask these questions. The answer to these questions will shock you. They will reveal a disturbing trend of fatherly neglect and absence that has far-reaching consequences for our children and our society. Now, the effects of fatherly neglect are far-reaching and devastating. It contributes to behavioral problems in children. It contributes to substance abuse. It contributes to mental health issues. It contributes to violence and anger. It contributes to lack of self-confidence and self-worth. This is the effect of fatherly neglect that people seem to not know about or not care about. It is very damaging. It can cause very serious problems and problems that we have today in our societies. It's time for the world and the justice system to take responsibility for ensuring that fathers are held accountable for their actions. They are held accountable for their actions. We need to educate fathers about their responsibilities and the importance of being present and engaged in their children's lives. We need to create a culture that values and supports responsible fatherhood. We all need to create this culture that values and supports responsible fatherhood. As a single mother and a life coach, I have witnessed firsthand the devastating consequences of fatherly neglect. It is time for us to come together to determine change and create a better future for our children. Let us work towards a world where fathers are proud to take on their responsibilities and provide for their children's physical and emotional and psychological needs. Let us work together, making sure that fathers are proud to take full responsibility when it comes to their children, take on their responsibilities to provide for their children's physical needs, their children's emotional needs, and their children's psychological needs, because this is what makes a life better. This is what builds confidence. This is what builds self-respect, self-awareness, self-worth, and self-love. This is what these children are being, they are deprived of. The reason today so many people, they lack self-love, they lack self-respect, they lack their identity. They do not understand who they are. It is because sometimes they are neglected. They have not received the love they need. They have not received the attention they need. They have not received, the support they need. How about we turn things around and we start creating a culture that values and supports a responsible fatherhood, motherhood, parenthood, so that we raise children who have been empowered and equipped by their own mothers and fathers to look and face the world with confidence, a sense of purpose, a sense of purpose, knowing that they are loved, they are wanted, and they are not rejected. They are not deserted by the people that have contributed to bringing them into this world. This is something we need to work on together as a collective, creating a culture that values and supports all of these things can make a huge difference.